Hey guys, Tech Relay here, and it's been a big couple of months in the smartphone world. We've had Nokia 8, the Galaxy Note 8, and among those even more. And here's Apple's offering. So this was the first event in Apple's new Steve Jobs Theatre, and they definitely didn't disappoint with some products. Of course, though most of the products were leaked before release, they could only really hide one of them, but you never know, maybe they just did that on purpose. So they started off the event by announcing some new Apple Watches. They now have the Apple Watch 3. The main headlining feature for these Apple Watches is the fact that you can get one with LTE. This uses an electronic SIM card, not a physical one, so that you don't actually need to have your phone around you wherever you go. This is really useful for people doing exercise or whatever who just want to track their run without having to bring their phone with them. I can definitely see this doing well. I actually really want to get my hands on one. It's 460 Australian dollars without the cellular and 560 with. And if you don't have an Apple Watch or you're at the Apple Watch 1, then I definitely think this is a good option for you. I'm currently using this sort of Garmin VivoFit thing, and I'm looking for an upgrade as this isn't really, it tells the time 7 minutes behind. Whenever you sync it, it goes back a minute. If you don't have an Apple Watch or if you have the early versions, this is probably a very good time for you to upgrade. Next up, we had the Apple TV. I'm not really as excited about the Apple TV as most things, but it still looks pretty good. It now has 4K and HDR, which is going to provide for some very crisp images. Of course, I don't really have a 4K or HDR TV, many people don't, but if you are on that wagon, if you do have one of those, then I definitely think it's probably a good idea for you. It's a bit more expensive, but I mean, you may as well, it's probably worth it for the better quality that you're going to get. Now for the big bits of this. Apple released 3 new iPhones. That's right, 3. Of course we did know they were going to release them beforehand, but still, just seeing them in person made them really good. The first up, they released the iPhone 8 and the 8 Plus, and these phones are more of a 7S. There's not really a huge new feature that they have, but they do look like pretty good phones. The biggest feature I think for these are probably the A11 Bionic chip, which is going to be really fast, and just the glass back, which provides for Qi wireless charging. It's really good to see Apple get on the wireless charging front, as it would be really useful. The Qi wireless charging opened up many new possibilities, and I actually can't wait to see how they do it. I actually really did like the matte black finish of the iPhone 7s, and I did like the metal design. But we are going to have to give way to that for the wireless charging, which, although it is a shame, I think it's a pretty good trade-off to have. Next up, as their one more thing, Apple released what we've all been waiting for, the iPhone X, or X, however you say it. So the iPhone X looks like a really good device. It follows on with the 2017 trend of having those bezel-less phones, and I have to say it is a beautiful phone. It has that sort of hump at the front in the middle, which is sort of like the Essential phone, just a bit bigger. I actually don't really mind it. Most people say the UI on this phone is stupid, but I think it's actually going to be pretty good. Of course, it doesn't have the home button anymore, and instead it paves way for a sort of gesture control line. Most people also say this is stupid. I actually really like it. So it just makes it easier to sort of go up. You swipe up to go home, you swipe a bit to open multitasking, and yeah, it just looks like a really nice feature. Since the iPhone X doesn't have a home button, that also means it doesn't have a fingerprint scanner, and that's a pretty big deal. Most phones, even with the bezel-less designs, have just put the fingerprint scanner on the back, but Apple has just decided to get rid of it completely. So they are paving way for a new feature that they call Face ID, where you can unlock your phone with a face. I actually think this might work really well, I just hope they've done it correctly. The only way you can sort of get into their device is if you literally just pick up their phone, put it in front of their face, say cheese, and run off with it. And that's probably not going to end very well for you if you're trying to do that. Also, as the phone doesn't have the phone button, they've just moved the Siri to the power button. They made the power button larger so that Siri can just be more easily accessed. You can still, of course, say "Hey Siri," but it will still work even if you just press the power button. One of the headlining features for this phone does also include the 3D facial recognition technology, and that is Animojis. You can have a dozen different emojis that just recognize your facial expressions, so you can just send them to people. They also record audio. It is just a huge gimmick. Not many people are going to be using them, but sure, we can have it. And this iPhone will also cost $1,000 US, so it's definitely on the pricey side. It's around 1,600 Australian dollars for the base model. So yeah, if you're looking for a budget option, this is definitely not for you. But if you're upgrading to the next flagship, then why not? It'll probably last a long time, and it is Apple's most innovative device in just ages. And that's not saying anything against Apple, I just don't think they've done anything with the iPhone recently. Because all of Apple's mobile lineup, except for Macs, now have wireless charging, I mean the iPhone 10, the iPhone 8, the AirPods, the Apple Watch 3, they now have this wireless charging mat, where you can just put your phone and stuff on it. It has a nice animation on the phone to show what's charging, and they can just all charge in one spot using wireless charging. This would be really useful if you're an Apple fanboy, kind of like myself. And yeah, if you want to get lots of Apple devices, then this is definitely a must for you. So you can charge them all at the same time, at the same place, without multiple wires. Looking at release times, the Watch, the Watch, iPhone 8, and the Apple TV are already available for pre-order. They weren't available on the 15th. They may be out of stock by the time that this video goes up, but they're actually lasting quite a long time for an Apple product. They're being released on the 22nd of September, so if you just want to pick it up then you can just do that. The iPhone 10 is available for pre-order on the 27th of October and is being released on the 3rd of November. So you definitely do have quite a bit of time to wait, but it's going to be worth it. Just don't line up at the store like this guy in Sydney. I mean, it's just a waste of time. You don't need it. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be uploading another video next week, so make sure to stay tuned. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.